finishing up on the last letter now, I just want to show you something. As you get towards the end of this hammer handle, the head of the hammer will be sticking out over the edge of the table generally, and it'll tend to want to tilt on you. So you do have to pay a little bit of attention to that to make sure that it doesn't tend to want to tilt off the table on you, especially when you get ready to change entry holes and take the blade out. The other thing you want to look at is when you get down to this end of this handle, you've got very little room left here, so you don't have a good handhold. So use this space over here as your primary handhold, and just keep your finger over here to hang on to it. You don't want to get your fingers underneath the thumb screw on your saw, or you'll get pinched. Let's go ahead and finish up this cut. And then we've got all the letters cut out. I'll take this apart and we'll head back over to the workbench. With the workbench now, we're going to take the hammer off the sled, remove the pattern and the tape, and then we'll have to do a little finish sanding on it. Basically, I just want to talk one more second about the sled. If you're going to do many different types of hammers, you're going to want to make up a universal sled, and you can probably find plans for one on the internet if you look hard enough. But I find it easier just to make these temporary sleds, and generally you're not going to cut more than a couple different types of hammers, and the materials to make the sled are so cheap it really doesn't make much difference. So now we can go ahead and pull the hammer out of the sled and begin to take the tape off, and then we'll have quite a bit of sanding to do to get this looking the way we want. And so what I'll do is, after I get the pattern off here, I'll meet you over to sander and we'll sand it down and see if we can make it look a little nicer. Tape and the pattern off. The back's a little bit rough because I just used a straight blade because I wanted a little more aggressive cut. So I'm going to use my flap sander here, sand everything a little smoother. Here's the finished personalized hammer that I made for my daughter, Kelly. I think it turned out pretty well, and I think she'll like it. She saw me making these and wanted one for herself. I guess just something to have from her dad, I guess. A couple little things to watch for are these handles are pretty hard. They're generally made out of some pretty hard wood, so they don't break easy when you're using them. So don't be stingy on the blades. Replace your blades as they get dull, because you will get some burning on I think this hammer handle is hickory, and it did tend to want to burn pretty bad. So make sure you use a clear box tape over it to cut down on the burning, and don't be stingy with your blades. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Fairly easy project to make, and I think you'll find a lot of people will enjoy them as gifts, especially people that are handy people. Now, the one thing about these hammers is you've destroyed the strength of this handle, so this is not a a hammer to be used. It's just strictly decorative. So you may want to mount this to a plaque or something like that before you give it to somebody, so they realize it's not to be used. I'm Steve Good. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and we'll see you next time at the Scroll Saw Workshop.